We're here today with Jason from New Game Plus.
That's the one.
Okay, thanks for the interview, mate.
No worries.
We just want to get a little bit of insight in how New Game Plus got involved with Couch Warriors to cover BAM.
Well, for a long time, we've had people in our community who have been fighting game fans. You know, I'm a big DOA fan, which is where I met Dan, who's one of the head of Couch Warriors. He was actually, I think he was WCG in 2007 for DOA 4. So we got talking about that. We got talking about how the community around fighting games has a bit of a bad name, and there are lots of good people who play video games, who play fighting games particularly, who need an avenue, who need somewhere to go. They started Couch Warriors. We got involved with them in small ways previously, and then this year everything's kind of fell into place with New Game Plus, you know, hitting its heights. We've got a partner Twitch channel. It all just kind of made sense to collaborate resources, and here we are, pretty much.
Yeah. In terms of New Game Plus, what sort of resources does it take for you guys to stream the event live?
It's not easy. The biggest one is internet, and Australia, as we know, without getting political, has a very interesting situation ahead of it for the internet. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but it sucks, it's horrible. And so the biggest thing we need is fast upload speed. Without it, it's pointless. You might as well not even try. But, I mean, a basic stream setup is real simple. You need a microphone, you need obviously a game console or something to stream from, and a computer that can handle it. Other than that, everything else is superfluous. Like anything else that you put in there is to your flavour. Here, it's a bit harder. We have to have two cameras. We've got like a HDMI hub splitting the game for the competitors so that there's no advantage if there's lag. So there are lots of little pieces for something this size, but realistically, you know, streaming isn't as hard as it used to be. It used to be much more difficult.
So, pardon my ignorance, is this the first time you're covering BAM?
It's the first time we've worked with BAM to do the media, but we've been here every year we've been here every year, even including the first one. The first one, that was horrible. Didn't have air conditioning, and you have 100 sweaty nerds in one place, man, funk everywhere, horrible.
Yeah. I actually saw that you are cosplaying tomorrow.
Yes.
But before we get there, I just want to ask, in terms of fighting games,
yes.
What is your favourite character?
Well, it's funny because it depends on it really does depend on what game. If we're talking DOA, it's got to be Bass, big, loudmouth, brash American. It's easy. Hence why I'm cosplaying it, because it's simple. But I mean, even in other fighting games, you've always got your favourites. You've always got people who play the way you expect. You know, Mortal Kombat, I play Baraka and Jax, for example. You know, it depends on which game you're going from. But I've got to say, favourite character of at the very least DOA, Bass. Hands down, Bass.
So that's why you're coming as Bass tomorrow?
Yes, and I mean, not many people have guessed it. It was interesting on Facebook. People guessed like Hercule Satan from Dragon Ball Z. So I always found it funny that the white dude's name is Satan, but whatever. Yes. And I also get lots of priest accusations, which was weird because
I would have thought, I had it in my mind for some reason that you were coming as Zangief, and then I keep remembering it.
Geef you can do, like, I mean, except he's trimmed with red, but yeah, you've got to be a little bit more tank for Geef, and you know, I'm working at it, but yeah, I'm not there yet. Like, Bass is okay. Bass is just, you know, average American Joe, but Zangief, you've got to be like popping, and yeah, so.
So back to the community, or just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Where is the community now to what it was, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
10 years ago, there's a big difference. 5 years ago, it's incremental. Australia's legitimate on the world scene now, but the problem is we don't have a strong enough local scene, in my opinion. You know, it's great to bring international people to Australia, and that's fine, but it's pretty much, I'm going to come here, I'm going to take your money, because there isn't anyone who can rise up to the challenge. What we need to do is we need to build like strong, you know, core fighting game players. There are plenty of them out there. It's just a matter of finding them, bringing them into the community, and I think that's where events like BAM are really well suited. Like there was a mum out there with her 2 kids, and she was sitting there like Mother Henshaw, which is fair enough because there are lots of sweaty nerds out there. That's fine, but that's what we are. So
how do you think you could attract more people to?
And this is part of what we want to do in a wider sense with BAM is with Couch Warriors is reach out to school groups, reach out to local community groups, because there are people who are interested in competitive fighting games, and Counter-Strike might not be a jam, Dota might not be a jam, but hey, Street Fighter might be. And there's enough money in Street Fighter that it's enticing. It's a great way to if you really want to get better at something, if you really want to look at something and say, right, I'm starting off, I have no idea what I'm doing, work at it, practice patience, really build those kind of skills and that experience. It's a great thing to do with friends. Plus, you can still plug in 2 controllers to one screen and elbow each other if you start losing. It's there's a bad stigma surrounding the FGC, but the majority of the people in this community are great.
Yeah, awesome. So, thanks for your time today, Jason.
No worries. Mate.
We'll see you tomorrow and hopefully take some pics of bass.
That'll be interesting. So I have to get my poses down. Yeah. Like,
All right.